I want to go back to Atlanta for reporting there. Robert Costa joins us from the spin room there. Robert?
Certainly, Nora, based on my conversations with Democrats, some might be frustrated with President Biden's performance tonight, but talking to sources close to President Biden, people have known him for a long time. There is zero chance, they tell me tonight, he steps away from running. They believe this election's about Trump, not about President Biden's debate performance, and they believe they have a record to run on. He's going to continue to hit abortion rights, hit the issue of the economy, American democracy, and that this is not a watershed politically in this campaign. It's the start of the campaign. That's the view from a lot of people who know Biden, and they say he may not have brought his best game tonight, but their explanation is this is just who he is in terms of his personality, but he's going to bring the fight with advertising. The money is where it matters in the fall, not a debate in the summer in Atlanta.
Robert, do you think there'll be a second presidential debate?
There's one scheduled in September. At the moment, it's on the books, but a lot can happen. The conventions are going to matter. At this point, both campaigns seemed a little bit debated out tonight, but we're in the immediate aftermath. I wouldn't rule it out exactly at this point either.
And you have followed Donald Trump so closely, having interviewed him over the years, written a book, of course, with Bob Woodward about the Trump presidency. How did you find his performance tonight, and also some of the comments he continued to make that are largely been viewed as lies or mistruths?
Well, they're a continuation of what he's done on the campaign for the entire past year. And let's just give people the real reminder of the context here. This was a debate performance the Trump people here in this room feel really good about. There's no doubt about that. But what matters, too, is that in just a few days, on July 11th, former President Trump's going to face criminal sentencing in New York for that hush money payments trial. Could even be put in jail sometime later this year. That's not off the table. And then he has to make a real decision on a running mate. Who is he going to have as his number two? He's 78 years old. A lot of people will be looking at that decision as they make their own.
Robert Costa, thank you. And John Dickerson, these debates are so critically important because there's no other opportunity where you're supposed to get a contrast of ideas where tens of millions of people, like a Super Bowl, sit down and decide, who do I want to vote for? They're just so rare, these events. Did President Biden defend his record? Did Donald Trump defend his record?
Well, Donald Trump defended his record. The question is whether what he did was true and consistent with his actual record. And Joe Biden at times defended his record. But if his biggest challenge was optics, was showing people that he was a competent president in command of his facts, he struggled on that.
And Margaret, what do you think about that in terms of not only, it seemed for the first 50 minutes we remarked about, gosh, this was a lot about their own records.
Right.
What about the future? What's
what
going to
about
happen
the
in
future?
next
What about those young voters that are so key to Democratic turnout and Joe Biden being able to close this deal in November when they see two men, one nearly 80, the other one in his 80s, not be able to articulate clearly what their positions are on many of the most essential issues at a time of crisis?
Thanks,
It's a problem.
Thank you to everyone. Our coverage of the presidential debate will continue on CBS News 24/7 in just a moment. And on your local news on this CBS station, and CBS Mornings is going to have a lot on this tomorrow. For our entire team here in New York and Atlanta, I'm Nora O'Donnell. Good night.